There's a social media campaign this August using the hashtag #StopTheKillingsPH. August marks a deadly month of killings in the Philippines under the Duterte administration. This is Noemi Dado, as August marks the commemoration of the killings of peace advocates Randall Karandi Echanis and human rights worker Zara Alvarez, as well as drug war victims Ken Lloyd de los Santos, Carl Angelo Arnaiz, and Reynaldo Culut de Guzman. Various human rights groups led by Karapatan rigged a call to stop the killings in the Philippines and to demand justice for all the victims of the Duterte administration through several activities and protest actions, which started last August 9 and will culminate in an online solidarity event on August 17. At least 8,663 drug-related deaths are reported since the start of the Duterte anti-drug campaign, based on June 2020 figures from the Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights. But human rights groups say the drug war talk could be as high as 20,000 to 30,000 if extrajudicial killings are included. Bearing the call, they tried to bury us, they did not know we are seeds. Human rights advocates, as well as families and friends of extrajudicial killings, have initiated a social media campaign by posting their selfies with flowers, the names of the victims of the drug war and brutal war on dissent on their face masks and placards, and the hashtag #StopTheKillingsPH as a message of hope, solidarity, and defiance. According to Karapatan Secretary General Cristina Palabay, in the face of a regime who wants us to cower in fear and silence. Artist Kevin Eric Raimundo, also known as Tarantadong Calvo, on Facebook and Twitter, posted his #Tumindig artwork supporting the campaign. August marks a deadly month of killings in the Philippines, from Kian, Carl, and Kulot in 2017 to Ka, Randy, and Zara last year. In almost all of these killings, justice before domestic mechanisms have remained elusive, and the killings have continued amid the pandemic, such as the recent killing of a mentally ill scavenger, Eduardo Ganyoga, in Manila at the hands of an armed barangay tanod for supposedly violating quarantine restrictions. And it is clear that such brazen incidents of violence are incited and driven by a state policy of mass murder coming from Duterte himself. Palabay stated. The Karapatan official said that along with the drug war and counterinsurgency campaigns, the enforcement of quarantine restrictions has increasingly facilitated the killings and other forms of violence and human rights violations against so-called violators, citing the killing of 59-year-old Ganyoga in Tondo, Manila, last August 7. She continued that Ganyoga is the fourth known victim killed in the context of the implementation of the lockdown. These are far from isolated incidents, especially under an administration that has openly ordered state forces to kill. Amid these killings, Palabay noted that the revival of the Supreme Court Committee on Human Rights in response to the reports and letters submitted by various human rights organizations is a positive step, as she urged the committee to immediately address the concerns on the rules of amparo and protection of human rights defenders and individuals at the risk of state-driven threats, as well as the killings, harassment, and attacks on lawyers and their clients, especially those who are victims of human rights violations. We enjoin all human rights candidates to stand with us in strengthening the call to stop the killings in the Philippines, to amplify support for the victims and their families in their quest for justice, and to enjoin the United Nations Rights Council to conduct an independent investigation in the rights situation in the Philippines, and the International Criminal Court to push through in investigating Duterte's crimes against humanity. While August marks a deadly month of killings in the Philippines, we also choose to mark August as a month of remembering and reckoning, she further stated.